When I was younger, it used to be sports. It used to be recreation. It used to be beach volleyball, things that require unstructured play, time not being a factor or variable, not necessarily doing something that is productive. And that was the killer right there. So I thought that I was on the right track. I thought that I was on the path of lightness and silliness. But little did I know there was a whole nother level to this. I had a really big insight recently, and it was around the topic of fun. And for those of you guys who know me a little bit better, maybe those of you guys who don't know me very well, most of my life I've been a very serious person. I'm somebody who prioritized discipline. Even when I was a kid, I took everything very seriously, and it supported me. It helped me succeed early on in my life. I got really good grades. I was a really good athlete, but fun was something that, as the years went on, seemed more and more elusive for me. By the time I got into my mid-20s and got married and became a father, even the topic of fun made me really uncomfortable. The thing I've probably been challenged by the most from the men in my life is to lighten up, to smile, to have more fun, to bring a little bit of silliness into the spaces that I participate in. So that's been a really great journey for me, and I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about lightening up. You guys who spend some time in my space know that I'm one of the quickest people to crack a joke, to be silly, to play a prank, to say a dad joke. That's who I'm starting to become now. So I thought that I was on the right track. I thought that I was on the path of lightness and silliness, but little did I know there was a whole nother level to this. And it all came through recently. Just this past week, my wife and I celebrated a wedding anniversary. And leading up to the wedding anniversary, we had a lot of challenges going on that I won't get into right now, but just kids going to school and life changes, lifestyle changes, work changes was having me feel very serious. It was having me feel overwhelmed and stressed out. And so we got to talking, and as we were diving in deeper and realizing some of these ways that were surfacing about how I've been and how I tend to be, I had this just bomb go off in my head that I didn't know how to have fun anymore. And that might sound silly. You guys might be looking at me thinking, what the hell are you talking about? Just go do something fun. But if you ask me, Jetty, what do you want to do for fun right now? Like right now, you got nothing but time. We can do anything. What do you want to do for fun? I'd be stumped. I would literally be stumped, because it's been probably 10 years, maybe since I was in college, that I actually connected to something that brings me joy outside of my relationships, outside of my family, outside of the fulfillment I get from the work that I do. Now, don't get me wrong. This doesn't mean that I've had a joyless decade of my life, because that hasn't been the case. I've just learned to source joy from, like I said, relationships, from my children, from cuddling with my wife and my kids in the morning, having a really good conversation with a buddy. Those are the types of things that have sustained me over the years. But the problem is that there's been very few and intermittent moments of fun, to the point where I actually realized I have an aversion to fun, to even allowing myself to consider what would I do for fun right now. When I was younger, it used to be sports. It used to be recreation. It used to be beach volleyball, things that require unstructured play, time not being a factor or variable, not necessarily doing something that is productive. And that was the killer right there. I had prioritized everything in my life around efficiency and needing to produce an outcome. And fun as an outcome, smiles, joy, lightheartedness was never a priority when I assessed, what do I want to produce with my time right now? So I've done a lot of things in the past 10 years and I've created a lot, and I'm satisfied with so many of the results I've created in my life. But at a point where I'm at now, I recognize that if I don't prioritize fun, if I don't remember how to reconnect with fun and joy in my life, man, it's going to be a really boring rest of my life. And I'm fortunate I've gotten to a place where I can actually think about having fun. I can make that something that is important in my life. To me, that's a luxury. That's wealth right there. That I have a lifestyle, a life that I've created where I can start to say, maybe I just want to take a day off. Maybe I want to go and chill out on the boat with some of my friends. Or maybe I want to go and sign up for a flag football league. Things that genuinely bring me joy, that I genuinely have fun doing. Making music used to bring me joy. Used to be really fun for me, and I let that go. Going out and tossing a football around at the park used to be really fun for me. let that drop to the bottom of the list. And what I didn't realize up until just recently is that doing that for long enough made it so that even when I wanted to have fun, even in those moments where every part of my body, my brain was saying, we can't produce anymore, we need a break, I didn't even know what to do with that time. And so I would have this feeling, and maybe you guys can relate to this, where all of a sudden I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to take a day. I'm just going to take a day off, just give myself a day. And then I'd sit there and I'd say, now what? Now what do I do? And that to me was alarming. It was so alarming to the point where I said, I need to do something about this because I don't want to continue my life this way. I don't want to continue being somebody who doesn't know how to have fun. When I have opportunities to inject fun into my calendar, I want to know exactly the things that I want to do to make me feel good, to make me feel like a kid again. It's been so long since I felt that. Even when I was playing rec soccer a year ago, it still felt like something I was doing for exercise, to get out and perform and work on my skills. It wasn't something I did just to have fun, just to enjoy it. And man, that's got to be such an important part of life. And it made me wonder how many of you guys out there are experiencing the same thing. How many of us have gotten so deep into the rabbit hole of productivity, of producing, of providing, that fun fell off the table? It got deprioritized, devalued at somewhere along the road. And maybe you need to hear this, because I know I did. It hit me like a ton of bricks. Like I said, I've been challenged before about being more fun, more lighthearted, but I didn't realize how long it's actually been since I've been connected to the things that are fun for me, that actually bring me joy, that I enjoy doing just for the love of it. Woodworking, recreational sports. What are some of the other things I love doing? Making music. These things are fun for me. And even right now, even in this moment, I'll still be honest, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around prioritizing those things, but I'm getting better at it. And I want to encourage you to do the same too. Because if you're a serious guy like me, that's great. Lean on that. Definitely have that be a component of your life, but don't let that be everything. That leads to burnout. That leads to early death. That's why us as men, we're dying faster than women are, because we put so much stress on production and productivity and results. We stress ourselves out. Fun, smiles, joy, laughter. It's the antidote for stress. It literally is the antidote for stress. And I've been leaving it. I've been kicking it off the table for the past 10 years. So this is my challenge to you, to come join me in having some more fun. I'm not saying that you can just disregard the rest of your life. It'll be there later, but just find and reconnect what it is that brings you joy, that genuinely brings you joy and happiness, that's fun for you to do just for the sake of having fun. Whatever that thing is, do it, prioritize it, put it in your calendar just like I did, as something that is just as important as sitting down, responding to emails, making this podcast episode. It gets to have a spot where it lives on that calendar, and it gets to happen for no reason other than joy, fun, and happiness. All right. I hope you guys got the message. If you didn't, if you're listening to this and you're still like, I'm going to get back to work, go watch this again, because I'm telling you, there is something to this. There's something to it. It's probably some secret fountain of youth type vibe, where having more fun is going to help us as men to be more light, more gentle, more kind, more loving out in the world, which I know everybody wants. So thank you for tuning in this week. Make sure you tune in for another episode next week. And until I see you then, peace and love and fun.